I'm gonna fucking murder this thing. Do you see my face? How mad I am right now?
Oh, you're so grumpy, dude.
I hate the world today. I'm a bitch. I'm a lover. I'm a child.
I don't. What does she say after that? I'm a child. I'm a
Mother?
brother.
Mother?
Mother. Is she a mother?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why she's saying about it.
All
I'm a
right.
sinner.
That's
I'm
fair.
a saint.
If ever in every word.
That's how I feel. Cheers. Here we go. Tequila.
Hey, dude. Fire it up, dude.
Happy podcasting.
To you as well, my friend.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another titillating episode of Horror Whiskey Company.
Nailed it.
I am your good friend, Jamie.
I'm your other
And
freaking
here's your-
friend, Peter.
Oh, and I got some news flashes for you.
What is it, dude? What now?
It's fucking Halloween.
Can you see it? I can't tell if you can see it or not.
It's almost like your face is there, dude.
It's where my face is supposed to be. I just decided to go with it.
Happy motherfucking Halloween, everyone.
Yay! It's the
best
most
day of the
wonderful
year.
time of the year.
Yeah, that was a song.
Yep, you made it up.
Yeah,
metal, dude. Hell yeah.
Halloween. Halloween.
You know what? I feel like Michael Myers would fucking, like, speaking of Halloween, Michael Myers would love, like, drone metal. Like, really slow. Like, I don't know.
I thought that was
Okay,
doom
the
metal.
sword gets a little droney. Like, yeah, it's like doom metal, but think of it as way less active than doom metal, if you can.
Please don't mention the sword.
Why? Oh, because they're playing tonight? And
Yeah.
I didn't let you go?
Yeah.
Dang, I didn't even think about that. My bad.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah.
One of my favorite bands that's also considered on the doom, sludge, drone metal scale would be
Mhm.
Bongzilla.
Yeah. They're pretty
Not
gay.
sword. Not the sword. They're
It's
not gay, dude. The craziest thing I've ever seen a musician do in concert, maybe not the craziest thing, but the bass player is also the singer, and he goes on this crazy bass solo, and he lights up a joint right before his solo, and he sticks up in his nose, and then he just goes while he's doing his bass solo. It was awesome.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
So
how high do you think that
Yep.
guy got?
Oh, so high, dude. He spent an entire like 5-minute bass solo. It was also like he only played like 6 or 7 notes in that 5 minutes, but it was awesome. And he literally just ripped this joint, and then he just inhaled it, and then he went like this, and he hawked it up and had it on his tongue.
Gross.
That's maybe the coolest part of it, actually. He like burnt the thing all the way down and then inhaled it, and then did like the spaghetti thing where you hawk it up and it was on his tongue, and then he spit it.
I hate that so much.
No, it was the coolest thing ever.
Oh, it sounds so gross.
Yeah, but like as
Well-
a person watching that happen, would you be like, holy fuck, that was crazy?
No, I'd be grossed out.
Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't. I thought it was cool.
All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. Well, can you let us know do we have a special Halloween episode going on today?
We are, dude. Tonight, we're doing the history of Halloween for all y'all bitches and bitchettes.
not like last year where we just watched every Halloween.
No.
movie.
We watched all the Halloween movies. This is like a history of the tradition of Halloween.
Hallows Eve.
Yep. We're going to go through how it became known as Halloween. Yep.
Cool.
That's a whole story. Jamie, what are you drinking tonight?
Same thing.
Oh, look
I'm
at you
pretty
go.
boring tonight. I've got Pacifico. That's it.
Pacifico. I've got, I'm actually
you
not
doing a
drinking
spec-
Rittenhouse Rye. I've switched.
Ooh.
That's Woodford
Woodford.
Rye right there, baby. And I actually have a cocktail for the evening.
Ooh, I was
I
hoping
made
someone did
a
because I didn't have
house-
time.
A house-made pumpkin spice old fashioned.
Ooh.
Got a whole jug of it right here. Been just cruising through this for most of the. I've been just chugging these down and watching horror movies for like the last 15 days or so.
Okay.
Couldn't imagine a better way to live life.
Well, tell me how you made it pumpkin spice.
Was it?
What'd you pumpkin spice it with?
So I have pumpkin pie spice I kind of took the cheap way. I did toast it a little bit though, so I put it on the burner, kind of toasted up this seasoning a little bit. I have actual pumpkin puree. I have some demerara sugar that I mixed in, made a little simple out of that. What else did I put in here? Ooh, just a little splash of vanilla. To kind of give it that extra little pop. And I think that's mostly it. I strained it out pretty well, but cheesecloth is brutal to strain through. So it's a little bit particulate heavy. But I don't know. The first one I made like a whole batch of it, and I tried to strain it through like 3 or 4 layers of cheesecloth, and it straight up, I got like 2 or 3 ounces out of like, I tried to make a pint and like it strained through like 2 or 3 ounces because it just soaks up right into cheesecloth. This time I went with a single layer of cheesecloth and it worked way better, and I got a lot more. And you just kind of mix it up a little bit before you go. You just give a little swirly poo before you drink it. You get all the little bits. They just go right up into the drink.
All right. Well, that's cool. I'm glad someone got to do some sort of Halloween cocktail.
Fuck with pumpkin spice lattes, dude. I don't drink coffee, but I do drink pumpkin spice lattes.
Oh, my new job is doing a pumpkin spice cheesecake. It's fucking
so good.
Phenomenal.
So good. So yeah, I couldn't help myself. I made, I don't know, probably a pint worth of simple syrup, and for one person pretty much, because Amber doesn't help drink very much of it.
Well, it doesn't go bad though.
Well, I mean, eventually it'll go bad. It's actual pumpkin puree.
Oh, I thought you meant the simple syrup.
Well, the simple syrup, I mean, like the simple syrup is fine, but it has like actual pumpkin puree in it, and it's not strained as well as I'd like it to be. Yeah, we're a little heavy, like I said, on the filtering was not as filtered as I'd like, but you just give her a little mixy poo here. I don't know if y'all can hear that there.
So I guess my question is, did you blend it at all? If you just like made a batch and you knew it was gonna like be thick?
No, I mean, I just like whisked it.
Okay.
Yeah. But I didn't put in like emulsifier or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe could have done like the magic bullet. I don't know. I just did it on the stovetop.
Yeah. I think that might be a way where you could get a little bit more of the liquid out of it.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
You're just a thinking guy.
Still well, I'm just like,
I'm also doing it for at home, and I'm just like, I don't know. I'm pretty much got in trouble for the first time I made it because it was like such a huge thing that got me like 2 or 3 ounces of fucking syrup. Because like I went like really particular, like I did blend it the first time I made it, but I tried to like strain it through like 4 or 5 layers of cheesecloth, and it just like literally didn't want anything to do with me. So this one I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna still toast the herbs. We've got, you know, all the shit that you need, pretty much pumpkin pie spice. Look it up, it's really simple. I had a couple things that I was missing, is why I just used pumpkin pie spice, because Amber's a baker and she just has this shit at home, so I just took some of it. But you toast that boy up.
That's perfect.
Opens those flavors up a little bit. I'd highly recommend that, because the first time I did it, without opening those flavors, also wasn't super tasty. Anyways, let's shut the fuck up about how I made the simple syrup. What do you think?
Sounds great. Let's get into the meat and potatoes here, pal.
Right? You ready to get me all dramatic here?
I am ready.
Can you give me some like background music or something like that?
Add it.
Here we go. Every culture from the dawn of civilization has wrestled with the same impossible riddle, and that riddle is death. We don't know when it comes, we don't know what it feels like, and we sure as hell don't know what, if anything, waits on the other side. But because we can't solve that riddle, we do what humans do best, and we tell stories about it. We light candles, we carve symbols, we pass down rituals that make the unknown feel a little less scary. But here's the thing about us as humans: we don't honor death, we throw it a party. On one night each year, the world puts on masks, mocks the grave, and laughs in the face of the inevitable. Skeletons dance, ghosts come out to play, and we act like the end isn't the end. It's just entertainment. I had to do it. And that right there is what makes Halloween so strange and so profoundly human. It really isn't about candy or costumes or cheap horror movies. It's about a universal impulse, that deep, ancient need to look into the dark, to feel the chill of mortality, and then to drink or dance or toilet paper your neighbor's house while you ponder that. So the question is why? Why do humans honor the dead and the unknown with a celebration instead of silence? Why October 31st? Why this strange, perfect mix of reverence and ridiculousness? That's the story of Halloween, and tonight we're peeling back its layers, the harvest festivals, the spirits that slipped through the cracks, the churches that tried to tame it, the capitalist machine that turned it into plastic pumpkins at Walmart. Because here's the truth. Halloween just isn't about ghosts and ghouls and goblins. It's a mirror. And when you stare at it long enough, you don't just see the dead, you see yourself.
Ooh,
Now,
you're fancy.
as I mentioned, tonight I'm drinking the pumpkin spice latte because I like this shit way better than pretty much most things that are coffee flavored. And I figured I'd put it in my own drink. But
Yeah.
I called it the veil thinner because it thins the veil between me and the bathroom.
Because it makes you poop a lot. Huh?
No, it just I pee a whole lot when I drink. It's why I got off the call so quick earlier.
Oh, I thought it was because there's coffee in it and it makes you poop. Because you said latte.
Let's drink it up, dude. Pour yourself some.
Cheers.
This ain't just a history lesson.
This ain't a scene. It's a goddamn arm race.
This ain't a seance. It's a goddamn arms race.
Ooh.
I don't know. I'm just throwing that in there. So here we go to when the days are getting shorter, the nights are getting longer, and death feels just a little bit closer. Long before pumpkins, costumes, and candies, before anyone even whispered the word Halloween, there was Samhain. 2,000 years ago, in the mist-covered hills of Ireland and Scotland, the Celts marked October 31st as the night the year died. The harvest was done, the livestock were brought in, the sun slipped earlier below the horizon each evening, and with it came a creeping sense of uncertainty. Winter meant hunger, and it meant sickness. It meant death waiting just outside the door. So the Celts built enormous bonfires to push back the dark. They burned crops and animals as offerings to their gods, and to whatever else might be listening just beyond the light. They believed that on this night, the veil of worlds became thin, so that spirits could slip through. Some were ancestors returning home, and others were not so friendly. To hide from the darker spirits, villagers wore masks of bone and fur. They disguised themselves to blend in with the spirits or to scare them away entirely. Jamie, imagine the earliest Halloween costumes that are just like we've been talking about, like the Ed Gein series, where people are just like wearing like bloody wolf masks all over their face and just like, hey man, can I get a sip of that? Can I get a rip after you? But like there's just like blood streaming all down this guy's face. Like, hey, did you just like kill that wolf this morning? He's like, this afternoon, actually. Good find.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sounds awesome.
It's like a do-it-yourself, like, or you know what nature is? It's like a do-it-yourself spirit Halloween.
Do-it-yourself spirit Halloween. All right.
That's what nature is, man.
Fuck, what am I going to be for Halloween? Oh shit, there's a rabbit over there.
There's some leaves. I'll just be leaf guy. Oh, there's a rabbit. I better put that on my head. So Samhain wasn't just about fear. It was about connection. Families would set extra places at the tables for departed loved ones, and they left food and drink outside for wandering souls. The idea wasn't to avoid the dead. It was to acknowledge them, to keep the bond between the worlds alive. That's what makes Samhain feel so human. It isn't just spooky garbage. It's an act of saying we know death is near, but it doesn't own us yet. Samhain was a night of divination as well, because when the veil thins, people believed the future could be glimpsed. Druids watched the way the embers fell in the fire. Villagers dropped stones into flames to predict harmony or hardship. And young lovers would toss, like, I don't know, walnuts and things like that into the hearth to see whether they burned together or if they blew apart as a sign of love. I don't know. Pretty ridiculous, but I guess that's what you do when you're looking for love in all the wrong places.
I guess so. I don't know what else to say at that point.
All these rituals, fire, disguise, offering, prophecy, were humanity's earliest attempts to make sense of the unknown. They laughed in the face of fear, but they also respected it. And in that tension between reverence and mischief, between light and darkness, Halloween was born. When the Celts looked into those flames, they weren't just seeing ghosts, they were seeing the reflection of themselves, fragile and curious, but yet defiant in a world that they couldn't control. And the fires of Samhain would burn for centuries. But soon another empire would arrive, bringing roads, armies, and a pantheon of gods that would mix in the old magic with something new. When the Romans conquered Celtic lands, they didn't just bring soldiers, they brought gods, holidays, and an obsession with blending everything they touched into their own tradition. As their empire expanded north, Samhain met Rome. The result wasn't destruction, though. It was fusion, a cultural mashup where the Celtic bonfires met the Roman rituals of the dead. And over time, Halloween became real and absorbed the Samhain and Latin flair. The first ritual was Feria. Now, Feria was a Roman festival held in February dedicated to honoring the spirits of the departed. Families visited graves and they left offering of bread that was soaked in wine and whispered prayers at their ancestors. It was a quiet, somber, and sincere day to feed the dead. I do find it funny that even the dead Romans, like the dead Italians, have to fucking have their fucking wine. Like, yeah, I'm still dead, but I'll fucking haunt your ass if you don't give me wine when I'm dead. Okay. Feria taught that remembrance kept the spirit world calm. Ignore your dead, and you might wake up to find them knocking on your door. Now, Lemuria had to deal with banishing the restless. If Feria honored the peaceful dead, Lemuria was for the restless. Celebrated in May, it was basically Rome's spiritual pest control. At midnight, the head of the household would rise barefoot and clutch a handful of black beans. He would walk the halls in silence, and at every corner, he'd toss a bean over his shoulder and say, with these beans. No, they literally had like an actual saying, which is so fucking funny. No, but like, beans, the magical fruit.
Yeah, that's also a good one.
This is totally ridiculous, but there was a time I was staying with my buddy Kyle, and we were down in Denver. We went to visit a friend of his, or like a friend of ours, and she had this attic that she had never been in, and we like literally got to her place at like 3 a.m, drank for like another couple of hours, and it was like 4, 5, or 6 or something like that. I don't know. Went up into this attic,
and which put you at 5 a.m.
Yeah, yep. Put me at 5. And I like looked up on my phone, like I can't remember what exactly it was, but like recitation to summon demons. And I had it on YouTube. I like looked it up, and we're like, what is like? And I started it, and I had it as loud as I could, and you couldn't really hear it at the beginning. And then like it kind of just kept getting larger and larger and like louder, and eventually you could kind of hear what they were saying, but it was like a 15-minute video, but it just says beans, the magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. The more you toot, the better you feel.
The better you
eat your beans for
every meal. Oh my God, really?
Literally, we spent like, but it didn't get loud enough to hear it until like 9 minutes into it. You could like hear these like weird like whispering sounds happening in the video, which is really funny. I just remember being there and being like, dude, we all got tricked. Damn it.
I wonder if that was my grandma. My grandma used to say that to me all the time. That was my grandma's song to us.
Her favorite song. Yeah, maybe. It was just funny because I looked it up, like how to summon demons, like, or chant to summon demons. And I like had my phone set out, and we're like, oh, what is it saying? And it like took like so long for it to even be like audible. And then all of a sudden it was just like, it's doing the fart song, dude. It's being the beans fart song. So anyways, not very far from that, the actual chant that they would say was, with these beans, I redeem me and mine.
Okay.
And two.
I almost forgot what we were talking about.
You're welcome. And two. So apparently the beans were bribes for hungry ghosts. Apparently ghosts get super hungry. And it was payment to leave the family that lived there alone, because the Romans believed that the ghosts would stay wherever they died. And as long as you could feed them, they didn't get hangry and attack you. So
they just want beans, huh?
Apparently they just want black beans, dude. I don't know. The ritual ended with that same guy that was walking through the house just clanging together bronze pots and pans to drive away any of the lingering phantoms that hadn't been fed yet.
Interesting.
I'd love to see the Warrens try something like that.
Nah, they're frauds.
Yeah, right. And this is totally real.
Did you watch True Haunting on Netflix?
No.
It's like a limited series, but it's like 2 stories of people telling their story about like being haunted.
No,
And
I've
one
seen
of them,
yeah, I know the premise of it.
one of the stories has to do with this dude like getting haunted at a college, and like Ed and Lorraine Warren like went to the college he was at, and then he went to the seminar and like went to meet them, and Lorraine's like sees him and goes, "I'm not going to shake your hand. I'm not going to shake your hand."
Fuck you, bitch.
Whispers into Ed's ear, and he goes, "You best be going now, boy.
Move along, son."
And
weird.
I was like,
weird,
okay,
dude.
so
Yeah, but she's also weird.
So she felt a presence, but she was like, "I don't have time for you. That's not
like,
what you're supposed to do. That's not what you promised.
I don't know your family, but you look pretty poor. You're wearing gym shorts and tank top. I don't got time for you."
Nah, not
find me a New England family. I need some
solve
of that
this shit
old
on your
money.
own. Yes.
All right. No, but it's real though. All right. So, anyways, Lemuria gave Rome its own take on warding off the dead. It wasn't far from the Celtic idea of appeasing spirits during Samhain. Same logic, different snacks.
Mm-hmm.
So the last festival was Pomona. Pomona was the Roman goddess of fruit, orchards, and abundance. Her festival celebrated the ripening of crops, especially apples, around this time, her sacred fruit. Now, apples weren't just food, they were symbols of love, fertility, and the cycle of life, not to mention their biblical essence. So when Pomona's
What do you
worship,
mean?
well, this would kind of come in later.
They're biblical? I've never heard any story about the Bible and an apple.
I don't know. Apparently they're in there. I don't really remember a whole lot about it.
Or a
Maybe
snake
like the
or anything like
first,
that.
Like,
yeah,
because like
literally the most important one.
Yeah. So obviously at this point, like the Old Testament of the Bible has already been written. They are very much aware of how much apples mean to all of this shit. And they're like, oh yeah, we got this bitch Pomona. We're gonna do her festival. She's the apple bitch. And pretty much they're like, hey, don't fuck with Pomona. She's the apple, right? So when Pomona's worship blended with Samhain, her fruit carried into the Celtic rituals. People began to use apples for games and fortune telling, like bobbing for apples to define who you'd marry next, or if you'd find any luck in the coming year. So if you couldn't get an apple, like apparently, like I don't really know how I can't even like imagine it. I don't know if you know this about me, but I can't do apples. They're crunchy and they're weird. I don't like the texture of them. So I just like don't really want to talk about apples much more. But if you want to talk about it, I can take my headphones out and you can let everyone know what you feel about things.
Do you think you're reincarnated or are an ancestor from Eve and that's why? And you're just
well, I mean, like, I know that I'm like of a superior race. So I think that like, yeah, for sure. I'm definitely I'm one of God's children for sure. I'd say that.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm one of the first like direct descendant. And I think that's why the apple taste is so tough to me. It's because it's been conditioned through my nature to not like apples. So you can't catch me slacking, Satan. Just kidding, dude. I want to hang out.
Please don't give me apples.
Yeah. You can't. I don't need them. I honestly could die. If I was like stranded on an island and there was only apples, I literally might die. It's a whole thing. I can't do it.
Single apple.
The skin. No, I'd try. Obviously, I'd try, but like I'm literally thinking about it right now, and it makes me want to throw up.
Oh, you're weird. Get over it. It's just an apple.
No, it's a mental thing. I know it's a mental thing.
Okay. All right. I'm done talking about it too. So
cool. I'm glad we can move the fuck on from apples, right? Okay. So as these centuries passed, the Roman customs fused with Samhain's bonfires and masks. The solemn prayers of Feralia mixed with the Celtic offerings to the dead. The ghost banishing beings of Lemuria met the disguises of Samhain. And Pomona's apples rolled right into autumn celebrations. What emerged was a patchwork of faith, a mingling of fear and feast, superstition, as well as celebration. By the time that Rome was done with Britain, Samhain wasn't even Celtic anymore. It had evolved into something broader, richer, and ready to survive the next wave of change. One that would not come from pagan gods, however, but from the church itself. By the Middle Ages, the church faced a problem. Pagan traditions like Samhain refused to die. People still lit bonfires on hilltops, wore masks with dead animals in the dark, and told stories of spirits slipping between the worlds. So the Catholic Church, in a move both brilliant and definitely sneaky, decided if you can't beat them, join them. Or, in the way of the Catholic Church, baptize them. In the 7th century, Pope Boniface IV dedicated a day to honor all Christian martyrs and saints. Originally, it fell in May, but in the 8th century, Pope Gregory III made a bold adjustment. He moved the feast to November 1st. That's right, directly after Samhain. And it wasn't a coincidence, it was strategy. By placing All Saints' Day on top of a beloved pagan festival, the church could overwrite old rituals with new meaning. The holiday became known as All Hallows' Day, and the night before it became known as what, Jamie? All Hallows' Eve. You're close enough. Over time, the words all blended together and reshaped themselves into the name that we know now as
Halloween.
There we go.
So how did it come from All Hallows Eve to Halloween?
So
are you getting into that?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Kind of, it's like a weird blend of like language as well as like.
That makes sense.
But anyways, the Hallows were the day that we paid respect to the dead. Halloween somehow got taken from Hallows Eve. I'm not exactly sure on the linguistics of the whole thing, but it kind of makes sense, I guess. I don't really know. I'm not a linguistics person. I'm just a dude that hangs out with you and drinks and talks about this stuff.
Fair enough.
So a century later, All Souls' Day on November 2nd was honored. If All Saints honored the holy, All Souls honored the rest of us, the ordinary dead. The belief was that some souls lingered in purgatory, waiting for prayers to guide them home. So families lit candles, rang bells, and prayed for the departed. This gave rise to the custom of souling. The poor and children would go from door to door offering prayers for families dead in exchange for small round cakes called soul cakes, which is kind of like sweet bread marked with a cross. Each cake eaten represented a soul lifted a little bit closer to heaven. It was both spiritual and social, a mix of charity, ritual, and sugar. It sounds like the earliest parts of trick-or-treating.
Yes, for sure.
Now, despite the new branding, people didn't let go of their old habits. They still built fires to ward off evil. They still dressed in disguise to hide from wandering spirits. They still whispered omens, read flames, and kept the night alive with a little bit of fear and a fuck ton of fun, mostly meaning they drank a shit ton. Now, the church might have changed the name, but the human impulse beneath it never died. Halloween became a strange hybrid, half sacred, but also half sinful. A night of prayer and pranks for saints and for sinners. And that's exactly what made it unstoppable. You can rename a holiday, you can rewrite prayers, but you can't change the way that people feel about something. All Hallows Eve endured because that fire burned deeper, and it wasn't just theological, it was a human need. As centuries passed, the flame would flicker into something darker. Whispers of witchcraft, omen, and the hunt for the unholy were in the wings.
Ooh, I thought you were going Red October.
Nope. No, what a fucking movie, though, dude.
It's a great movie.
The Hunt for Red October? Oh, man.
Oh, man.
What's his name? James Bond?
Robert Redford. Is it
Redford
Robert
and,
Redford?
what's his name?
Sean Connery.
Connery's in that, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, what a good fucking movie.
Fuck yeah, dude. All right. Go on.
All right. By the Middle Ages, Halloween still was called All Hallows Eve and had become a festival caught in between the sacred and the sinful. The church wanted reverence, and the people wanted chaos. And October 31st They got both. During the medieval period, souling became a widespread practice. Now, we mentioned souling earlier. It's the practice that the poor and often children went door to door offering prayers for the souls of the dead in exchange for food / like small pastries. Now, these treats called small soul cakes were simple, round, sweet, and marked with a cross. Each one eaten was said to free a soul from purgatory. Now, we bring this back up because over time, the tradition began to morph. Somewhere along the line, it stopped being just about faith. Villagers started singing songs, they were wearing masks, and naturally getting a little rowdy as they ventured into the community on the days surrounding Halloween. Think of like medieval trick-or-treating, but there's no actual cops to stop you from doing anything while you're wearing a mask and like trying to steal people's shit.
Hell yeah.
The prayers before this have all been holy, but the energy was pure Halloween, part devotion and part mischief. Alongside souling came guising, the custom of wearing masks and costumes. Originally, it was meant to protect people from spirits, but anonymity, it seems, is freedom. Under a mask, the meek could become mischievous, and what started as self-defense from harmful spirits blossomed into a sense of opportunity. Young people especially began pulling pranks, moving livestock, stealing gates off of walls, scattering tools, or rearranging wagons just to confuse their neighbors. You can see the beginnings of the Halloween trickster guys right there. The medieval imagination was wild and wonderfully paranoid. On All Hallows Eve, anything could happen. Black cats were seen as omens, witches, familiars, or even demons in disguise. Candles burned late into the night to ward off evil spirits, and people began to carry charms or herbs for protection. Halloween also became a night for fortune-telling. Love and death were twin obsessions of the time, and everyone wanted to peek behind the veil. One game told young women to peel an apple in a single strip and throw it over their shoulder. The peel's shape would reveal the initial of their future husband. I just think it's super funny. You're like, oh, dude, watch me. I'm like peeling a J for sure. Oh, toss behind. You're like, damn it, it's too round. That's a fucking C. There's like some like dipshit with like big ass buck teeth named Corey. He's like, that's a C for Corey. You're like, great. I guess I'm marrying you, Corey.
Yeah, right. I love
you, Corey.
Jenny. He's Forrest Gumped us.
Yep, I sure did, dude. So by this point, Halloween was no longer a single ritual. It was a collision of beliefs. Church processions and bonfires coexisted with ghost stories and pranks. Hymns met howls. The devout prayed for souls while the dancing went in the street and wore devil horns. Halloween had become a liminal night, a sacred in-between space where order briefly broke down. For one night, peasants and priests, sinners and saints, all stood together in the flicker of firelight, no better than the other. The church called it holy, and the people called it fun, and the spirits, if you believed in them, probably called it the safest place they could find. But the fun wouldn't last forever, because soon that same fear that animated these stories would take on a new face, one that would burn at the stake. By the late Middle Ages, Halloween's playful spirits were beginning to turn darker. What had once been a night of bonfires and masquerades was shifting into something charged with fear. The same imagination that gave life to ghost stories began to conjure something else entirely, the idea of witches. And unlike spirits, witches were not safe to laugh at. For centuries... Why?
Why can't you laugh at witches? They laugh back at you?
Yeah, dude. It's just like...
There's nothing funny about witches.
There's
Say that's a hocus pocus.
Zero funny things about witches. I don't care if Sarah Jessica Parker played one of those characters. I don't care if... what's her name?
Boobs. Her boobs got me through childhood, dude.
Yeah, for sure. I don't care if... what's her name? The singer.
Bette Midler?
Bette Midler is a witch, right?
Okay. Stevie Nicks is a witch for sure, too.
Stevie Nicks is actually a witch. They probably should have had her in that. I don't know why they didn't. She was in the second one, though, right?
Maybe. I didn't watch the
second one. I feel like later in life, Stevie Nicks, like, actually, like, people just assumed she was a witch. And then she's like, I guess I'll just run with that. I feel like she, like, really didn't want to be that. And then they were like, hey, here you are. You're, like, actually a witch. So take the title.
Well,
and she's like, I
she's
guess.
in the third season of American Horror Story. Or is
Yeah,
it
that
the
came out,
second
like,
season?
10 years ago.
Oh, well.
I don't actually know, but no, it was way later than that. The one where they're all trapped in like the weird like dungeon.
No, it was the Witches
It was
one,
a
the
really good
Covenant
one.
I want to say it's season 3, if not 2.
I bet you it's season 5. You want me to look it up?
How much you want to bet?
I will bet a fair amount that it's later than season 3.
Okay, how much you gonna bet? How much is a fair amount to you?
$100.
$100?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
That's what you want to bet.
I know which season she's in, dude.
Are you ready? American Horror Story Coven is the third.
Coven is the third season?
I told you.
See, I was thinking season 8 in the apocalypse because she's actually a character in that one.
No, you dummy. They're,
yeah, you're fair. $100, dude. You get it. I'll send it to you.
Tell you what. Why don't you just use that money for our Shopify and then we'll call it good.
That's fair.
Ayo.
Ayo.
Got you. What is the second season then? Do I remember this?
Second season is the first season is the mansion or like the house. Second season is
asylum.
Asylum, yeah. With what's her name from Misery?
Kathy Bates?
Kathy Bates. Yep.
Interesting.
See, I didn't even know that Stevie Nicks was in the third season because she is such a small role.
Yeah, she's great scare.
She's in a bunch of like the episodes after. She's like a huge person in the 8th season.
Oh, I have not watched anything past the 4th season because I got really mad at Freak Show because I wanted to be good and they just started singing a whole bunch. I'm like, nope, you ruined it.
Freak Show, is that season 5?
That's season 4. And then
4? Okay, see,
I tried to rewatch it when they did like the slasher one, or it's gonna be like 80s slasher style. I didn't like that either.
And then they've got like American Horror Stories now. I don't know. I haven't kept up with that show since probably what was the political one?
I just told you that I haven't seen anything past 4, so
that's not
up to you to figure that out.
4.
Oh, all right. Empty air. Keep going, dude.
Season 7. For centuries and a long time before that, people have believed in magic. Charms, herbs, curses, and blessings. It was a part of daily life of most people. But as the church tightened its grip on Europe, anything that strayed from doctrine began to look quite dangerous. The old pagan customs, the midnight rituals, even the women who gathered herbs or midwifed births, all began to fall under suspicion. And in that paranoia, a new kind of Halloween villain was born. No longer just ghosts, there were now your neighbors to fear. By the mid-15th century, witchcraft hysteria had taken root across Europe. Authorities began publishing manuals on how to identify and prosecute witches. The most infamous, Malleus Maleficatorum, aka the Hammer of Witches, became a bestseller for inquisitors. It told readers that witches could control storms, cause sickness, and consort with the devil. It gave superstition natural structure, making it actually deadly. Tens of thousands of people, mostly women, were accused, tortured, and executed. Halloween's reputation as a night of blurred boundaries only added fuel to that fire. If spirits could cross the veil, who else might? The line between folklore and fanaticism vanished overnight. Even as witch trials raged, ordinary people still filed into the autumn night with their own superstitions. Every creak of wood, every flicker of a candle could be a message from beyond. A black cat crossing your path meant misfortune. An owl near your window meant death. And if you wanted to know your fate, Halloween was the night to ask. Young women still practiced the fortune-telling games, apple peels, mirrors, and candles, but now they did it in the silence of their own homes. What had once been innocent fun could be mistaken now for devil's work. Halloween was still a night for crossing boundaries. Now, that crossing came with a cost. It was no longer fun. It had a serious stigma to it. By the mid-17th century, hysteria reached its tragic peak. From Scotland to Germany, and eventually across the ocean to places like Salem, Halloween itself wasn't the cause, but the fear that once made it thrilling now made it dangerous. Where there had been laughter, there now were whispers. Where there had been masks, there now were accusers. And where there had been bonfires to keep away the dark, they were now using burning pyres. The witching hour had arrived. But like all fires, the hysteria eventually burned itself out. And when it did, Halloween emerged again, but it was scarred and changed, still alive, and it found itself a new home across the Atlantic, where old world fears met new world freedom. When Halloween crossed the Atlantic, it entered into a world of both new and ancient practices. The Puritans who settled in New England brought with them a deep distrust of anything that smelled even faintly of the old religions. To them, Samhain wasn't a harvest festival, it was heresy. So for a while, Halloween didn't exist at all. But you can't erase a human instinct. You can bury it, repress it, you can pray it away, but it always finds its way back. And the colonies, specifically, old world traditions began to resurface in subtle ways. Storytelling became a kind of rebellion. Around the fire, people shared tales of spirits, omens, and ghostly warnings. Folklore woven from European superstition and Native American legend was abound. What emerged wasn't quite Halloween, but something close, a hybrid, a night for telling what scares us. As the colonies expanded south and west, cultural blending did the rest. Catholic communities in Maryland and Louisiana, whatever Louisiana was, held feasts for the dead. Irish and Scottish immigrants brought autumn bonfires and costumes. German settlers added harvest festivals and parades. All of it swirled together into this uniquely American cauldron of folklore. But by the 18th century, Mischief had become a defining feature of the end of October. Young people, bored, rural, and quite full of ideas, turned this season into a playground of pranks. Gates vanished. Wagons appeared on rooftops. Outhouses were tipped over like a competitive sport. It wasn't evil, it was energy, a sort of seasonal chaos that gave the community a release valve after a hard-worked summer and before the long, desolate winter. It's kind of one of those things where people are taking this one night to just completely let loose. And I think that still persists to this day. It's why it's my favorite. You get to see who everyone wants to be on Halloween. Do you agree?
Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes you have to be something else because your significant other makes you. Or like you have glasses, so you have to be something like Harry Potter every time. But
are you not a fanfic guy? I feel like you could be a really good like fanfic writer where you could write Draco Malfoy as like a really blind guy and just like describe your experiences with like a super successful Harry Potter and being like, fuck that guy, he's super blind, he doesn't even know what he's talking about.
What does that mean? Like I could be Draco Malfoy and like rewrite it?
Yeah, for sure.
As a blind person?
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Maybe you're Boy Wonder, dude. Why can't you get the girl, dude? Maybe Hermione's your darling.
I always thought it was weird that Ron got Hermione.
Yeah, everyone knows it's weird. It wasn't supposed to happen that way. Like, we've all seen like every single fucking movie that's ever been made, and like doing that shit just to not do that shit isn't a good reason to do it.
No. All right, Ginny. All right,
thanks, cool. J.K. Rowling. Yeah, I guess we're gonna just like pull something out of our fucking assholes. Like, oh yeah, he like actually doesn't marry the main chick that's been involved with everything that's happened so far. He fucking his best friend's sister. Good for him. Good for him.
Why do you go hate trans people, J.K. Rowling?
Yeah, just go do that or whatever. Would have been a better ending. Sorry, that's terrible. I don't even mean that.
Okay.
I don't even know where we are. Yeah, we definitely did all this already. Okay.
How do you
get
that?
What?
Nothing. Go on.
So in these early American towns, the line between harvest celebration and Halloween trouble blurred completely because over in Europe, it was kind of a little bit different than it was here in America. It's a distinct end because we're so far north. So while the Puritans disapproved, the spirit of the night, mischievous, earthly, and defiant, was back, baby.
Yo.
When the Irish began arriving in waves during the 19th century, they brought one of Halloween's most iconic traditions, the jack-o'-lantern. Back home, they'd carve faces into turnips and potatoes. Jesus fucking Christ, it's fucking ridiculous how Irish these fucking people are. But
Let them be Irish, dude.
Potatoes, Irish be Irish, dude. But in the New World, they found something way easier, far bigger, far better, and way more fun to carve up. Fucking pumpkins. So the pumpkin became the glowing symbol of Halloween from here on, the smiling sentinel between the light and the dark. So by the late 1800s, America had taken the bones of ancient rituals and dressed them in something new. Halloween was transforming again, though. It was less ritual, more community, less fear, and more fun.
Power.
But the same impulse remained. The desire to stare into the dark, the mischievous, to celebrate the unknown, and to find joy in it. The next century would turn that impulse into an entire empire of masks, candy, and cinema. Halloween was about to go mainstream. In the late 1800s, Halloween crossed another threshold. It no longer was a night of survival or suspicion, it became a night of celebration. Across America, communities began hosting harvest parties filled with games, music, and laughter. Ghost stories were told by candlelight, apples floated in wooden tubs, pumpkins glowed on torches, and for the first time in centuries, Halloween wasn't feared. It was finally fucking fun again. Victorians the Victorian era loved a good seance, a bit of superstition, and most of all, romance. Halloween became a perfect excuse for both flirtation as well as fright. Young people played fortune-telling games to predict love, marriage, and luck. Apple bobbing, mirror gazing, and even tossing nuts into a fire again to see whose names burned together. It was eerie but polite. Spirituality packed for the parlor. Magazines began publishing Halloween party guides. Hosts decorated their paper ghosts, witches, and grinning pumpkins all around their homes. Homemade costumes appeared, more charming than terrifying. The holiday was transforming into a social event. Rather than one built around anything revolving around their ancestors, it became one around imagination and not fear. By the early 1900s, Halloween had spread through small towns and cities alike, but it came with a problem: pranks. The same youthful chaos that fueled Mischief Night now turned destructive. Broken windows, vandalized fences, and a lot of really annoyed fucking parents. Communities had something that they wanted to change, so they came up with a clever idea: distract the kids. And how do they distract the kids, Jamie?
They give them candy.
Candy, motherfucker. That's right. Neighborhoods organized parties, parades, and safe door-to-door visits. Children traded trick or treats, turning mischief into something wholesome. By the 1930s, trick-or-treat was an American institution. Halloween was now family-friendly. Still weird, still spooky, but officially, through almost every church, it was sanctioned fun. By the mid-20th century, the candy industry saw an opportunity and took it. Companies began producing single-serving sweets designed specifically for Halloween. Costume makers followed suit, selling store-bought disguises inspired by everything from movie monsters to astronauts. Television was the one that helped sell the deal. Episodes of family sitcoms featured Halloween specials. In 1966, it's The Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown made its debut and became an instant classic. But if we're being real, and we're talking about what the Halloween spirit is mostly about these days, it was the movies that gave Halloween its teeth. When the movie Halloween hit theaters in 1978, it forever linked October 31st with terror, suspense, and masked serial killers. From then on, Friday the 13th, A Nightmare on Elm Street, any of these became something that was just part of the holiday, that was the beating heart of horror itself. Within 100 years, Halloween had gone from soul cakes to slasher flicks. That's progress, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
So, by the end of the 20th century, Halloween was everywhere. Costume stores popped up on every corner. Horror movies ruled October. Theme parks were built. They built haunted houses. They built rides just to fit the guise of it. Even countries that had never celebrated before joined in because the spectacle was irresistible. Halloween had become a billion-dollar industry. But beneath all the plastic masks and candy wrappers, the core remained the same. A night where we laugh at fear, we dance with death, and we celebrate the thrill of being alive. From bonfires to block parties, from ghosts to box office hits, Halloween had become humanity's favorite mask. And yet, for all its transformation, one question still lingered. Why? Why is it this holiday? Why this night? And why this singular holiday has endured for thousands of years when so many others have gone by the wayside? To answer that, we go back to the start, to the one truth that ties it all together. The reason Halloween endures is because death endures. And the way we face it, well, that's what makes us human. So, after thousands of years, Celtic bonfires, Roman rituals, Christian saints impaled on stakes, medieval mischief, colonial pranks, candy, costumes, and slasher movies, we come to one basic question: why? Why has Halloween endured more than any other tradition? The answer is simple, and it's endless. Halloween survives because it speaks to something universal. It is the one night where we look death in the face, and instead of bowing to it, we dance with it. We mock it, and we honor it, and we laugh in its shadow. We wear its symbols on our sleeves, and we invite it in for drinks. Because deep down we know it's always there, lurking behind us, patient, inevitable. And somehow laughing at us does make us feel a little braver. It endures because it reflects our shared humanity. Every culture, every time, every place has created rituals to honor the dead. Samhain's bonfires, Rome's weird bean offerings, All Saints' Day and All Saints' prayers, American trick-or-treating, different costumes, same instinct. We give shape to our fear. We turn it into ritual. We make a game of what scares us the most. And on Halloween, the veil thins, not just between the living and the dead, but between reverence and parody, grief and laughter, and faith to fun. It's the mirror we hold to ourselves, and it shows us the same thing. Humans trying to make peace with the inevitable. Another reason it lasts: freedom. For one night, there are no rules. Children become monsters. Adults get to be whoever or whatever or whenever they want. Behind a mask, we tell the truth about who we really are. Beneath a vampire grin or behind a skeleton face, a ghostly sheet, there's freedom, there's a release. It's a permission to be wild, to be ridiculous, to be something else beside ourselves entirely. And that's not just escapism, it's therapy. A world that laughs at the grave once a year is a world that can still be capable of joy. But maybe the simplest reason why we celebrate Halloween is because Halloween is fucking fun. It's a carnival of chaos in a world obsessed with control. We need nights like this when fear becomes entertainment and darkness becomes a sense of community, where we scream together and laugh together, where we eat too much candy, where we let go of the weight that we carry. It's a night of collective permission to remember that we're alive even while death is watching from the edges, because fear and fun aren't opposites, they're partners in the same dance. We tremble, we laugh, and for one night we live like we mean it.
Live, laugh, love. I get it.
Yep.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, I'd say that Halloween isn't about fear. It isn't about love. It isn't about all these crazy things. It's about, well, it isn't about death. It's about living, right? And recognizing that you're still here, living boldly and weirdly with the rest of the people around you. So, I don't know. To that, we'll raise a glass to the living and to the dead, to the most ridiculous horror villains ever, to the most normal ones ever. Because on Halloween, we're all just ghosts in waiting. So tonight we get to live. Next time we might not be so lucky. So until next time, Jamie, take us away.
Live, laugh, love.
Hell yeah, dude.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Please, hello, if you're still here, please like and subscribe. And always remember To stay wicked, stay wasted.
Stay weird.
Oh, I forgot that one. Stay
Yeah,
weird.
we do weird, dude. We're weird
My
too.
bad.
And then what do we do last? I guess
Wasted.
eventually we get wasted. Here we go.
Heyo.